Willow breeding is actually quite a simple process. So the first bit is like any form of mating, I suppose you could say. The easy bit is the copulation, and then it's the rearing, which is the difficult part. So with this, we've got a female on the left, got a male on the right. You can see they're quite different. This one is quite dull green, and this one here is sort of goldy colour. So the way it works is that you take the male with the pollen and you put it onto the female like that, and you just dust the pollen in such a way like that. And if you left that and put it in a glass house, in about 6 weeks' time you get some seeds, tiny little seeds, very, very small, probably 1 milligram in weight. And then, just like any other seed, you would sow that onto a tray, then prick them out, and rear them on, put them into a nursery, maybe several hundred from a single cross like this, and then you would select the best ones out. So in the first year you're selecting one from one single seedling, and then you turn that into 10 cuttings that go into an observation trial. From that 10 cuttings, you might have 600 different genotypes within that observation trial. You then select maybe the best 20 or 30 that go into a second observation trial, and then you might do some yield assessments of those, some rust assessments, and then if they're still good, you might pick 5 or so that go into a yield trial. So as I say, the easy part is that first cross of doing that, but then you've got a sort of 10-year rearing process, and even then you might not end up with a variety. So it's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, but hopefully you end up with something that's really good at the end of it. I'm standing by this willow tree here, and it's quite different from a lot of the short rotation coppice varieties that are available for biomass, in as much that it's a male. Many of the varieties are female because there is a sex bias when you do crossing. So it's a bit like when you have a family and it's all girls, or you have a family and it's all boys. But often when you breed, you get just females, and then you have to do another cross in order to get males. Now the reason why we want more males in the mix, because when you plant SRC, you tend to plant in a 6-way mix. The reason why we want that is because the males provide pollen. They provide pollen for bees and other pollinators at a time of year where there's very little else around, especially in the countryside. So these are important things. They can help rebuild populations of pollinators, especially bees, because pollen tends to have lots of protein, and then you feed that to the next generation of bees. But just as I'm looking around here, I can see all sorts of different things on those catkins, devouring the pollen and the nectar. I can see some flies there, and I've seen some ants and all sorts of little creepy crawlies, which again tells you a story about willow the genus, because it's very important from a biodiversity point of view. Along with oak, is one of the most important genera for insect life. And where there's insects, of course, you go up the food chain, so there will be birds as well. These are great things. So by encouraging the bees, we'll encourage the birds, and you'll see lots of wonderful wildlife in these plantations.